Welcome to Library Storytime. Our first story today is A Fine, Fine School. I'm a little bit worried about this girl with that big backpack. Is your backpack that big when you go to school?
No.
And look at all these notes that are falling off.
Yeah, she's going to get hurt like that.
Yeah, well, I think she's going to forget some things. If she needs those many notes to remember everything, I'm afraid she's going to forget something. Yeah, there we go. See what happens. Mr. Keene was a principal who loved his school. Every morning he strolled down the hallway and saw the children in their classes. He saw them learning shapes and colors and numbers and letters. He saw them reading and writing and drawing and painting. He saw them making dinosaurs and forts and pyramids. Oh, he would say, aren't these fine children? Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school? Near Mr. Keene's school, Tilly lived with her parents and her brother and her dog, Beans, in a small house next to a big tree. On Monday and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Looks like we have some pals here. They must be buddies.
Yeah.
Look what they're doing there.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do that, would you?
I would not.
No, I don't think you would. At school, Tilly learned her shapes and colors and numbers and letters. Sometimes when she saw Mr. Keene standing in the doorway, he waved. Aren't these fine children? He said to himself. Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school? On the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, Tilly climbed her favorite tree. And she took Beans on walks and threw him sticks. And she pushed her brother on a swing and tried to teach him how to skip. Looks like she's busy on the weekends, huh? But on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Beans and her brother did not like to see her go. Hurry, hurry, hurry home, her brother called. One day, Mr. Keene called all the students and teachers together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Saturdays too." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers, of all the learning they were doing every day. Would you like that if you had to go to school on Saturday too? I wouldn't either. And so that Saturday, Tilly set off for school. But it's Saturday! What about the swings? Her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene announced, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Sundays too."
You can't go to church.
The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Sundays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers, of all the learning they were doing every day. He's making it where the only thing they can do is school, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at their faces. What has happened?
They don't want Cabby, and he wants.
No.
And it looks like they should get some day off.
See this picture, boys and girls? See how happy all the boys and girls looked?
Yeah.
And now look what's happened. Now they look sad.
Why did they look sad?
They don't want to go to school every day. And so on that Sunday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Sunday. What about the skipping?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, Let's have school on holidays too.
No.
On Easter and Ramadan and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah, on all the holidays, on every calendar.
Oh, no.
That's terrible, isn't it?
And now they can't spend time with their family.
No. The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on holidays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene. He was so proud of the children and the teachers of all the learning they were doing every day. Look, he's passing out buttons, and he's got a little flag here that says, "More school is way cool." I'm not sure about it. And so on Christmas, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Christmas! What about Christmas?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine school. I love school. Let's have more school. We can go all summer long, every single day." Wow. Now he's wearing a button that says summer school is cool. "How much will we learn?" he said. "We can learn everything. We will learn all about numbers and letters and colors and shapes. The Romans and the Egyptians and the Greeks. We will learn about dinosaurs and castles and everything. We will learn everything." Look at this little girl. She looks like she's about ready to pull her hair out, doesn't she?
Yeah, and she doesn't look like she's happy.
Not at all. The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays and all summer long, every single day. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that he was so proud of the children and the teachers of all the learning they were doing every day. And so, on the first day of summer, Tilly set off for school. "But it's summer! What about summer?" her brother called. And that day, Tilly went to see Mr. Keene. She stood in his office in front of his desk. "What a fine school this is," Mr. Keene said. "What amazing things everyone is learning." "Yes," Tilly said, "we certainly are learning some amazing things." "A fine school," Mr. Keene said. "But," Tilly said, "not everyone is learning." I didn't think about that, did you?
No, I did.
You did? Good, Noah. "What?" Mr. Keene said. He looked very worried. Who isn't learning? Tell me. I will see that they learn." "My dog Beans hasn't learned how to sit," Tilly said. "And he hasn't learned how to jump over the creek." "Oh," Mr. Keene said. "And my little brother hasn't learned how to swing or skip." "Oh," Mr. Keene said. "And I," she said. "But you go to school," Mr. Keene said. "To our fine school." "True," Tilly said. "But I haven't learned how to climb very high in my tree. And I haven't learned how to sit in my tree for a whole hour." "Oh," Mr. Keene said. That day, Mr. Keene walked up and down the halls looking at the children and the teachers. Up and down he walked, up and down and up and down. I think this is interesting that they put this in this picture. See that little boy? He's brushing his teeth at school.
Yeah, because he didn't have time for that.
Exactly. He didn't have time to do it at home. They're so wore out from all the school. The next morning, Mr. Keene called everyone together. The children and the teachers were very worried. Mr. Keene said, "This is a fine school with fine children and fine teachers, but not everyone is learning." The children and the teachers were very worried. Mr. Keene said, "There are dogs who need to learn how to sit and how to jump creeks." What did he mean? Was he going to make their dogs come to school?
Oh, yeah.
There are little brothers and sisters who need to learn how to swing and how to skip. What did he mean? Was he going to make their younger brothers and sisters come to school too?
Yep.
The children and the teachers were very, very worried. That would be interesting to see a dog at the chalkboard, right?
Yeah.
And you, all of you, children and teachers, you need to learn how to climb a tree and sit in it for an hour, Mr. Keene said. Now he's down here. Look, this is their imagination, and they think Mr. Keene will be standing down here and saying, 20 minutes to go. The children and the teachers were very, very worried. And so, from now on, he said, we will not have school on Saturdays and Sundays or holidays or in the summer. Look what happened, everybody. They're all smiling and cheering. A huge, enormous, roaring cheer soared up to the ceiling and floated out the window so that everyone in the town heard the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers shout, "Fine, fine, fine." And the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers lifted Mr. Keene up, and they carried him down the hallway and out the doors and through the town, up and down, in and out. And everywhere they went, the people said, "What a fine, fine school with such fine, fine teachers and fine, fine children and a fine, fine principal." That's pretty cool, isn't it? He actually listened to the boys and girls. Did you know sometimes when something's wrong, it's good for boys and girls to speak up? Yeah, and that little girl, Tilly, spoke up and got everything straightened out, didn't she? All right. Well, Miss Lisa has something for us.
All right, boys and girls, I gave each of you some school supplies because school's going to be getting started real soon. And so I need you to listen, and I'm going to give you a little riddle, and you need to come put up on the board whatever is the answer to the riddle. Are you ready? All right, listen carefully. Here's the first one. All the colors of the rainbow are in my pack. Keep me out in the sun or I'll melt real fast. Who's got something that has all the colors but something that will melt? Which school supply will melt, guys?
Which
Look
one
at your
melts?
pictures. Which one has all the colors but will melt? Bring that up here. What is that? Crayons, that's right. So if you have crayons, don't leave them in the sun because they will melt. All right, the next school supply. Sharp at one end. Look at your things. Who's got something that's sharp? Yeah, sharp at one end. Hang on. But soft on the other end. I can write and erase. That's right. Come and put that up here. So your pencils are sharp on one end, right? But soft on the other end. Hang on. It's not your turn. Wait till I call yours. All right. This is sticky and tacky and glue and goopy and icky. I make things all stick together. Come on up. What is tacky and sticky and gooey and icky? Right, we all need our glue bottles, don't we? Hang on a minute. It's your turn. I am sharp, not dull. You use me to cut things big and small. Okay, what do we use to cut with? Scissors. That's a great school supply.
Yes.
All right. I am sticky, but I come in a roll. Just use one little piece to cover a hole. That's right. Your tape is also sticky. Not as sticky as glue, right? All right. I'm a little home for your books and all your other school supplies. Who has a little home? Nope, not yet. She has a little home, right?
That's it.
Your backpack is a little home for your books. All right. People open me to hear a story. What do you open to hear a story?
Books.
Where's the books? Where's the books? Come put that up here. Yeah, books you get to open up and hear a story. Very good. All right, let's see what else we have here. I fix your wrong answers. What fixes wrong answers? What do we have to use to help fix our wrong answers? Yeah, this is a giant eraser, isn't it? Sometimes you've seen those great big ones. There you go. All right. Have fun coloring with me, but be careful because I'm hard to clean off a table. Which one would be hard to clean off a table?
You.
Okay, but colored pencils, yeah, I suppose those could be hard to clean off the table. But also the markers, right? You guys both want to come put those up here? Come on, guys, come put those colors up here. Where's it going? Yeah, wait, just the colors, you. Put the colors, yeah. Colored pencils and markers. Okay, I haven't called that one yet. Good job. Those are hard to get off the table, aren't they? All right. All the numbers from 1 to 10, I can add, subtract, multiply, divide again and again. Where can you do math with? Yeah, your calculator. Come put that up here. All right. I am a foot, but I'm not in your shoe. Use me to draw a straight line just for you. What do we draw a straight line with? Yeah, our ruler. The 12 inches is actually a foot, but it doesn't look like the foot that's on the end of your leg, right? All right, we got a couple more. I have lots and lots of little blue lines to fill up with the words from your mind. Where's the little blue lines? Yeah, what is that?
Paper.
Yeah, our paper. You guys need notebook paper to go to school, right? You know, fill all that up with all kinds of ideas and stories. Looks like we have one more. What else do we take to school? Use a brush, but not for your hair. Put me on a picture of any little picture that you want to color in. What is it? Yay, our paint. That's right.
I like painting.
Look at all these school supplies. Pretty soon you guys will go to the store and buy some of this stuff so that you can be prepared for what your teacher wants you to do when you get to school, huh? All right, so we have another story, which is beach toys versus the school supplies. Now, we just talked about all these school supplies. Let's see how many of them we see in this story. What do we see right here?
Measure.
Right, which we called what? Remember?
A measure.
A ruler. Right, so we have our ruler versus the
shovel.
The sand shovel. All right, so let's see who's going to win. Here they are on top of a big pile of sand. He's just hanging out there, right? On the day that would be remembered as the biggest showdown, Shovel was lying on the beach minding his own business when a strange shadow blocked his sun. What's that shadow of?
A ruler.
The ruler, right? It's nice and straight. He looked up and saw a ruler. Shovel shook his head. He must have sand in his eyes. But no, it was his smart alecked old rival, making his mark on Shovel's beach. And before Labor Day, too. What are you doing here? He asked Shovel. I'm working, Ruler replied. School starts next week, and I want to survey my skills. You school supplies are all the same, Shovel said, getting a dig in. Work, 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 work. When do you have any fun? Ruler rolled his eyes and checked the height of the lifeguard chair. Fun is overrated. Learning is superior to playing silly beach game. School rules. Get it? You think you're so clever, Shovel huffed. Why don't we settle this once and for all with a contest? A sand castle building contest. Ruler jumped down and inched over. Just what I was hoping you would say. He called to his friends, hey everybody, we got ourselves a showdown. Now who's going to build the best sandcastle? The beach supplies or the school supplies?
I said the beach supplies.
All right, let's find out. The beach toys watched as the rest of the school supplies made their way down the boardwalk. We're totally going to deflate them, said Beach Ball. Don't hold your breath, said the swimming mask. Maybe they'll have some skills. Not a chance, said Shovel with a laugh. We're going to bury them. Look, here's all the school supplies we just put up there, right? There's your backpack and your glue and your paper and your notebook and lunchbox. Lots of different things. Markers, pencils, scissors. Sounds like you can use my help, said Whistle. The beach toys and the school supplies gathered around. Tweet, tweet, blasted the referee. You have 1 hour to build your sandcastle. Now, it is best to consider the location because, oh, yeah, we know what we're doing, said Scissors. Thanks, Tweety. Whistle blew off the rude comment. Let's begin. Now, where's the best place to build a sandcastle when you're at the beach?
Where it's yucky.
Where's Jackie? Okay.
But where it's
We need lots of good sand, right? Let's see what they do. The beach toys scouted out a location far from the school supplies and far from the water. They started doing what they do best. Hoe and rake flattened out the sand. Shovel dug the moat while the bucket fetched some water. Castle and her kids went to building the town. The whole time they worked, the beach toys laughed and told jokes and sang songs. Now the school supplies on their hand were completely silent. They were studying something. This made Shovel a little nervous. He wanted to take a peek at how their castle was coming along, but he knew that he should just keep his eyes on his own work. Look at them. They're measuring and doing all kinds of cool things. They drew out a plan. Who's going to be better? As the sun rose higher in the sky and the beach toys scurried to add their finishing touches, Shovel thought the castle looked fantastic. But it might have been the best one they have done all summer. Look at their sandcastle. Isn't that cool? He was sure that they would win the contest, so when Whistle tweeted that time was up, Shovel started cheering before he even turned around, and then he made a gasp. What did he see when he turned around?
He saw their building.
What did school supplies build? Oh, well, maybe their best wasn't good enough after all. Behold, our castle of classroom, said the Scissors, who's a real cut-up. A place of learning, pointed out the Pencil. We have gobbled up a thing or two about construction for the library, said Lunchbox. Take note, shouted the little index card. Ruler towered over Shovel. I think it's clear who stands out today, he said. Oh, look at Shovel. He sank back into the sand. Why couldn't he have kept his big mouth shut? For once, he just wanted to prove that beach toys could outsmart school supplies. But he had failed. Tweet, tweet, tweet! Whistle sounded an alarm. Unfortunately, you school supplies didn't hear the #1 rule about sandcastles. Don't build too close to the water. Sure enough, the tide had turned and the waves were creeping closer and closer. The winner's masterpiece was doomed. Ruler and the school supplies panicked. They lined up in front of their castle, which was a terrible idea. Notebook would get waterlogged, pencil would be erased, and glue would never be able to stick again. They got all watery. Maybe we should lend a hand, said Bucket. Are you kidding, said Shovel. Why should we help them? Beach Ball said that the others were thinking, well, because it's no fun watching anyone's castle get knocked over by a wave, and we're all about fun, right? Shovel had to admit that that was true. Well, how can we save them, even if we wanted to? Everyone looked at him. He was a master moat digger, after all. Fine, mumbled Shovel. But the only way we have a chance is if we work together. Yep. They're going to be able to save this beautiful sandcastle. Look how close the water is. Shovel led his beach toys to the front line where they showed what rivals could do. As the tide approached, everyone got busy digging a moat and building the other defenses as fast as they could. Now, if you don't know, boys and girls, a moat is a big, deep ditch. Okay, like big castles have a big moat around them, keep the enemies out. So that's what they're trying to do, is build a big, deep ditch all the way around. The waves didn't stand a chance. They washed harmlessly against the walls of the moat. The water drained away safely. Hooray! Everyone cheered. This time it was Ruler's turn for a change of heart. "That was some quick thinking, Shovel," he admitted. "You and your friends really measure up." "We really do dig your castle," Shovel said. "I guess you don't know how to let loose and have fun. You do know how to let loose and have fun after all, in your own way." "We sure do," said Ruler. "But it's even more fun when we did it together. Hey, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Shovel smiled, and they both said the same thing.
We both did good.
It's recess! It's recess time. With their rivalry forgotten, the day of the big showdown turned into a big beach party celebration with new friendships that would last for many, many years and many summers to come. Pretty cool, huh? So they had recess after the very end.
Okay. That was quite a story. I like that story, didn't you?
Yeah,
That was
I really
cool.
wanted to go to the beach.
Okay. All right.
Make us go to the beach one day.
Well, this story is Bears Make the Best Math Buddies. It's nice to have a math buddy.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at math and others are not. It's time for our math lesson. Everyone pair up with a buddy, said Mrs. Fitzpea. Everyone did except Adelaide. "Oh dear," said Mrs. Fitzpea, "we have a problem. We're short one student." "Don't worry," said Adelaide. "I have the answer." "You can do this," Adelaide whispered. "Come on." Bear grunted and followed Adelaide. "I know Bear was a wonderful reading buddy," said Mrs. Fitzpea, "but reading is one thing. Math? I'm not convinced." "You think Bear will be able to do the math?"
Yeah.
"Bears make the best math buddies," said Adelaide. "It's simply a fact. They know how to put one paw in front of the other and measure any distance." Of course, they never get turned around. They know north is at 12 o'clock, east is at 3 o'clock, south is at 6 o'clock, and west is at 9 o'clock. Okay. Bears make the best math buddies because they have great imaginations. As the clouds drift by, they see every shape and every size from every angle. Circles, triangles, rectangles, squares. Look, circles, squares, triangles, rectangles. I never saw those when I looked at the clouds. Out on the river, catching fish takes practice. Bears never, ever quit. Before long, the salmon add up. 1 + 1 + 1 + 2 = 5. And sometimes they subtract. 5 take away 2 = 3. Sometimes they throw them back in because they're too small. Bears make the best math buddies because every night they count the stars until they fall asleep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very good.
Think that would help them fall asleep?
Yeah.
In the morning, they're ravenous to collect lots of berries. But before they gobble them up, what do you think they do?
They pick them.
What do you think, Noah?
They wash them.
They might wash them.
That's a good idea.
Yep. But they
don't-
sort them into groups so they can analyze their haul and sum up the rewards. So they separated the different kinds of berries and then they counted how many were there.
I just hope they eat them.
Bears make the best math buddies because they know that not every answer comes easily. Sometimes they have to make a few mistakes, turn over a few rocks, and really dig deep to discover the solution. And when they get it right, they spring into action, and because they knew you could do it all along. They know that whether you're in the classroom or out in the big wide world, math is everywhere. There's a pattern in everything. Solving puzzles is fun. There are lots of puzzles to do. Is there anything this bear can't do? Mrs. Fitzpea asked. No, said Adelaide. He understands the whole picture. Well, that sums up that problem, said Mrs. Fitzpea. Do you think we should tell her that you're great at writing too? Adelaide asked. Bear just grinned. Well, that's all for today. We want you to come back again sometime. For now, we say goodbye.
Bye-bye.